everybody, welcome to or back to my channel. If you are new, today I'm going to be showing you guys how I create aesthetic thumbnails using literally just my phone. I used to film everything on my phone, edit everything on my phone. I've recently upgraded to a camera, laptop, editing software and stuff like that, but I still have yet to download any sort of thumbnail creating, purchase, anything like that. I still use my phone for that, and that comes to editing the photo, adding graphics, outlining, literally just my phone. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that, how I make them so beautiful and so aesthetic. Obviously the thumbnail is one of the most important parts of your video because it's the first thing that the viewer sees. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that, and make sure you subscribe. So the first step when it comes to creating thumbnails is creating your actual aesthetic. When you go to your YouTube page, all of your thumbnails are gonna be shown across, basically like a catalog, like a magazine, your aesthetic. So you need to establish what you want your aesthetic to be, whether that's like vintage, minimalistic, super colorful, all film photos. Make sure it kind of matches your vibe. Don't just create a thumbnail and try to make it look like somebody else's. Like, create your vibe, create your aesthetic, and stick to that for every single thumbnail that you do in the future, unless you have like a brand shift. But overall, when a viewer clicks your page and they see that all of your thumbnails kind of look similar, they're super aesthetic, they are drawn to that. They think it's pretty, they think it's cool, because they have an idea of what your content will be like in the future. The next step I like to do is actually choosing the photo of the thumbnail, of the picture. Make sure your thumbnail kind of matches what the video actually is. Nobody likes clickbait. You'll get the click, but overall YouTube wants that duration, which that's a whole different video if you guys want to know more about like YouTube analytics and stuff. But choosing the actual photo is the main goal here. Whether you're choosing like 5 photos, 3 photos, 1 big photo. And when it comes to actually editing your thumbnail, you want to make sure that your face is actually in it. Of course, if you see a thumbnail where there's like 3 aesthetic photos in it, you want to click it because it looks good. But having your face in the actual photo helps push your content up there. People recognize you, and it just has that more personal feel of, oh, this is who I'm going to be watching, versus clicking it and having no idea who's going to be talking, who's going to be behind the camera. So make sure your face is in the actual thumbnail itself. So for my thumbnail, I'm gonna use 3 different aesthetic photos, and then I'm gonna use my face. The apps that I use to edit my actual photo is Visco. This is what the app Visco looks like. So I'm gonna just scroll down and pick a random photo. Let's just say I wanna use this picture right here. This photo is actually already edited. I'm just gonna show you guys. Obviously saturation brings up the color. And then the preset that I use most often is V8, but this photo has already been edited, so I'm not going to alter it too much. So now that I'm done editing this photo, I'm gonna hit next and hit save to camera roll, and that is gonna be one of the pictures that I use in my thumbnail. Another trick, if you don't catch enough B-roll, which is just random clips and shots throughout the day, if you don't have a lot of pictures to choose from, just go on Pinterest and search up pictures of palm trees or the beach or something like that. I do that a lot sometimes. Even though you're at the beach, you might not get like the cutest shot, so you can get a picture of palm trees, the beach, sand, just random B-roll shots that you can add in your thumbnail to create that aesthetic that you want. So now that I'm done choosing my actual pictures, I'm going to start creating the thumbnail. The app that I use to create my thumbnail is PicMonkey. I use the free version. They have so many graphics, fonts, edits that you can choose from when using this app, and you don't even have to pay for it. You're gonna scroll all the way to start a new design, YouTube thumbnail. The YouTube thumbnail measurements are a little weird, so you definitely want to use some sort of software that alters it automatically for you, and luckily PicMonkey does that for me already. So I'm gonna hit next, and then I actually just choose a random color just so when I'm adding the photos in, I can see if it's in the actual frame. Then I'm gonna hit next, and at the bottom here you can see all your options. You can crop it, you can add effects, touch up, and then this add button is where you add text, graphics, photos, anything like that. So I'm gonna start with my graphics, which is your photos, which you'll see down here. I'm gonna scroll down and do this picture of the beach. I'm gonna add this picture of like a bag, just random B-roll shots that makes your thumbnail just look super aesthetic. I'm gonna do this picture of coffee just because I think it looks cool. And then I'm gonna find that photo that I just edited. So these are the photos that I ended up choosing. If you ever wanna bring a photo in front of the others, you can hold it down and hit to the front. And it'll look like that. I'm gonna hit this photo and I'm gonna go in and hit erase. And basically this gives you the option to kind of erase part of the photo if you wanted to. And I'm just gonna erase around my arm just so it looks like my body is coming out against the photos right here. I'm gonna bring this graphic behind me, and then you can also zoom in on the thumbnail and get a little bit of a more precise cut on there. Okay, so now that I have the pictures aligned the way that I want, I'm going to add my text. So you hit this add button, I'm gonna hit text. And for this one, I'm just gonna hit summer days in the life. And then you can add as much text as you want. So if I wanted to write beach on there, around my arm, coffee on here, and that's just kind of what that looks like there. Now, when it comes to outlining my body, I'm gonna zoom in and hit draw. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the white and basically just outline my body to my best of my capabilities. This is where the iPad pen would come in handy, but right now I'm just working with what I have. Now that I kind of have it to where I want it, it's kind of acceptable. Obviously the outline is very crusty, but I don't want to sit here and like keep trying. Like I know it'll look good if I sit here and try, but yeah. So I'm gonna show you guys the last thing that I like to add to some of my thumbnails. I'm not gonna add it to this one just because there's already a lot going on in this thumbnail itself, but I'm going to hit the plus button and go to graphics. And this is where you can choose from different kinds of just graphics to add to your thumbnail. They have seasonal ones. So if you wanted to add like sunshine, you could do that in a corner, however you wanted to do it. And they have these cute little stars that you can choose from. You could change the color. I normally do white, and then sometimes I like to just put them in the corners of my thumbnails. Like I said, this thumbnail kind of has a lot going on already, so I'm not gonna keep them there, but I'm gonna show you guys just how I do that. I don't draw them. They're literally drawn for you already. And that is how I edit my thumbnails for free, completely on my phone. Obviously, if you invest a lot more time into the thumbnail, you will be able to perfect the drawing and like how you want it to look. But this is just a basic idea of how I do it, how I make them look super cute, fun, summery. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, this tutorial on how I edit my thumbnails, try to make them a little aesthetic moment, you know what I'm saying? And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!